is Joseph Tongai Dhafana. I am a Zimbabwean based in Cape Town. I'm the owner of Mosi Wines and Spirits, and I'm also the head sommelier of Lacolom restaurant, which is based in Cape Town. It's actually #1 restaurant in Africa according to Eat Out. I've been working for Lacolom for about 6 years, and only last year, 2019 November, that's when I was crowned the best sommelier in South Africa. I went to South Africa in 2009, and then I just fell in love with lots of things. I mean, as I started from the bottom, being a gardener, a barman, waiter. Then I started studying wine, up until I began to really got so much interested in knowing the nitty-gritties. I mean, now to change grapes or to convert grapes into juice, like really both viti and viniculture. So then I made my maiden vintage in 2014, Mosi Wines. It was Syrah and Chenin Blanc, and all my products are named after family members. The Syrah is actually Flavian, my dad, who passed on in 2004. The Melo, which is now discontinued, is Calista, my mom. She's alive. And Tinashe, my one and only child, my son. That's the Chenin Blanc. Then the Gin which is the new kid on the block, which I launched in London at 6 and Pall Mall in 2018 February. That's Wamambo, which means it's my totem, it's for the whole clan. When I moved to South Africa, things were not really rosy when we got there. Myself and my wife, we stayed at Mosina refugee camp for 2 weeks, waiting for asylums, which we actually granted. And they were valid for 6 months, if I'm not mistaken. Then we went all the way down to Joburg. Then we stayed in Methodist Church, which was in the CBD, led by Reverend Paul Verlaine. He's still alive. I visited him once. And so the ladies could sleep in the church and the gents could sleep in the streets. I mean, I slept in the streets of Joburg for 2 weeks. I mean, beaten by fleas and all those things. It was actually something which was very, very normal to us. Then a cousin saw us on TV. Then she managed to reach out and she sent money to us, and we then moved to Cape Town. I witnessed some guys fighting, and one of the guys was actually stabbed. I don't know if he passed away or if he died, but yeah, that was really very, very strange. Then being mugged every day was something which was very terrifying, and it was order of the day, really, being searched in the streets of Joburg, because we could actually go and visit some centers where free food was given to the street fathers and mothers, street kids, or those who had nowhere to live or without shelter. So we could actually go and queue for that food. So on our way there, we were being searched and mugged, and a whole lot of things really happened. Yeah. That time, to be honest, I mean, look, we didn't want to look back as we knew exactly what was happening back home. They needed us the most, or they needed someone really with a brave heart to go out there and start a brand new life, which is exactly what we did. And thank heavens we were quite successful. Of course, the road was not very smooth. It was quite a bumpy ride, but over and above, we managed to sail through, and now here we are. Here is where we are. We're looking after the family still, and they're happy, and we're also happy. And we're not just looking after our families. We have done so many things for charity, like Cyclone Indai here in Zimbabwe. We managed to sell Mosi Wines, hosted dinner with, in collaboration, in conjunction with Aubergine restaurant where my wife works. So I was the sommelier of the day because I'm a qualified sommelier before being a wine judge, a winemaker, and lots of things. So we donated Mosi Wines and my service. Then we managed to raise 67,000 rands. which we brought here. We bought building materials, including cement door frames and a bit of like doors. Then food hampers for 30 families and sanitary wear for the ladies also. Then we gave those to the needy, which were actually affected in Chaka, rural district. That's Midlands. I was born in Chirumanzo, and that's Chirumanzo area. So when I heard about cyclone and all the people which had their houses were demolished, and their hearts ripped apart, I couldn't really think of anything else than trying to help. And mostly, I mean, from the place where I was born, which is Chirumanzo, that was my first call. Is there any area in Chirumanzo which was affected? And the heavily affected area was actually the Driefontein, Vuma, and Chaka, a bit of Fairfields. So we spoke with the district administrator then, the lady, I think she's now in Gutu. Then we managed to put something together. The president's office was actually there as well, among other Air Force members. I remember retired Wing Commander Revesai was there as well to witness what we were doing. So yeah, so we really do help the community. In South Africa, we helped Houtgedacht Trust, which is an orphanage. We gave them some money, and we helped Iziko School of Catering in the township of Langa, which is quite known. It's very close to Kaelicha. We helped with some wines for them to practice food and wine pairing, and some cash as well. Then we also helped one student at Hugo now, I think the then Kopota School of Blind. We paid school fees. We gave 2,000 bucks. That was a year or two ago to just help with the school fees. And also, finally, my former secondary school, which is Taringana Secondary School in Chirumanzo, I bought them the very first copier, which they had ever since. I mean, the school was founded, I think, in 96. No, not 96. Around 90s. They're about 89, 90s. They never had a copier. And I managed to put money together, and they actually managed to buy the first copier two years ago. So those are the things which we really want to promote and to make sure that those who are actually need our help. It's not just business, but we also look back at and see if we can help. As we help as well to be where we are. A sommelier is basically, in short or in brief, is a wine waiter. It's just a posh name, which it's actually a French name, meaning someone who studied wine and food, how to do food and wine pairing. Someone who studied also how the grapes being grown and how can you actually make wine from the grapes, and among other things. But basically, sommelier is a wine professional who knows how to pair food and wine, and what wine to drink, at which or what occasion, when and how. Use the proper glasses, and when to serve, how to serve people, and the like. So those are the things which really which comes together for one to be a sommelier, he has to know all those things. And for one to be a sommelier, you're going to have to do rigorous testing. You're going to have to do a lot of things. I mean, I started really from the very rock bottom. I started with Cape Town Academy, very ordinary certificate, up until I went all the way to the diploma, which is in Stellenbosch, Native Bay campus. It's a sub-branch of Stellenbosch University. Then after that, I did WSET, which is Wine and Spirit Education Trust, based in 66 countries, I think, in the world. And they're actually based in London, but they are actually spread out in 66 countries in the world. That's also actually a very one of the highest levels which a sommelier can get. Then The biggest one is Court of Master Sommelier Europe. I actually managed to get that certificate last year in October. Yeah, pretty much same year last year. That's when I actually managed to get that certificate. However, I didn't limit my my career in the sense that just only to study about being a sommelier or to serve wine in a fine dining restaurant. Basically, that's a sommelier. I managed to expand and broaden up and do wine judging. So I'm a qualified wine judge with the University of Cape Town since 2015. And also in 2017, that's when I founded, 2015 again, that's when I became third best wine taster in South Africa. Then I went to Europe, to France, representing South Africa in the World Cup. So I was the only, probably first Zimbabwean to represent South Africa in such a competition. Then when I went there, I just thought of, I went with the two flags, South African flag and Zimbabwean flag. So when I went there, I thought of founding Team Zimbabwe, which I did, and it was quite successful. 2017, which was 2 years down the line, I went with a very strong team of sommeliers based in Cape Town, but all from Zim. Me being the captain, we didn't do very well. We were number 24 out of 25 countries, so we only managed to beat Italy. Fair enough. That was actually very good enough for us because Italy has been making wine for over 1,000 years. Then 2018 we went back again. That's when we were followed by this filming crew from Australia. It's called Third Man Films, and they managed to help us in terms of training, and we came 14th out of 26 countries. That was such a big jump, really, moving from 24 all the way to 14, like 10 places up. That was really amazing, and we really enjoyed our position. And yeah, so last year we were so busy and no one went, but we're still planning to have another team going next year.
So we are pretty excited today. We're in Avondale at Liquor Supply. I just came through to support my boy. It's Tongai Joseph Dhafana. Inspiring story.
Look, it's things are actually different. Everything is just different at the moment in terms of the way I live my life. In many dimensions, I would say it's quite. I wouldn't say it's fun, but it's really. I would say it's funny, but it's really interesting that from where I come from and where I am right now, where I am going, at work things are completely different. My bosses can listen to what I say. They can actually buy to anything which I actually ask from them in terms of work-wise. Yes, of course, it's an industry which is really which is full of white people. That's no doubt, and everyone knows that. In South Africa, we cannot really turn a blind eye on that, and it's really good if a handful of those are willing to share their knowledge and everything which they have with those with the people of color, which is quite amazing. I just don't like the way people take or understand the word transformation. For me, transformation is not completely defacing what is there. It's actually merging the two together, the new and the old, so that you can have a brighter future. So for me, if we put those two hands together, obviously we can have something stronger.
Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce this beautiful baby to you, made by Tongai Joseph Dhafana, named after his father Flavian. This is a Syrah from the Swartland area. Everybody needs to grab a bottle. So today we're right here at Avondale Liquor Supplies, just meeting and greeting with the man himself. So if you get an opportunity, please do try out one of the wines that he's got. So we've got a Chenin Blanc, we've got a Syrah, and we've got an amazing gin as well. If you look at this display right here, then that will tell you what the menu is all about. Please do yourself a favor and try one of these wines from Tongai Joseph Dhafana.
We do make, when I say we, it's of course, it was actually one main business operation for the past 6 years, but now I do have some guys who are actually monitoring the website. My wife, my son, and a few were busy with the stickers on the gin and all that. So it's a team, really. It's a family business, like I mentioned earlier. That's why we try our level best to name family members on the bottles or on our products. I mean, we don't want to forget where we came from. We can never forget your roots, you know. And that's where the heart is in any case. I mean, that's home, and home is where you belong. And this is Zimbabwe is really my home. There's no doubt. So our wines are listed locally. When I say locally, in South Africa, it's Newman Goodfellows Open Wine, the public wine or the public distribution as well. Then it's La Colombe Restaurant, La Petite Colombe, Aubergine Restaurant. So those 3 restaurants are the only restaurants which has got Mosi wines at the moment. Then in Cape Town, then in Joburg, there's a restaurant called Liwine Chembre, which is in Ilovo. They also do have Mosi wines. Zim, interesting enough, for the first time, liquor supplies owner Ilan managed to get hold of me through Facebook. And in COVID, I managed to ship almost a pallet, mixed pallet to Zimbabwe. And that's when we really did a lot of business. We shipped a lot of wine to Netherlands, our biggest importer, followed by Switzerland, Germany, Zimbabwe, Estonia, England, then Kenya, then Namibia. Yeah, so those are the countries where we are listed at the moment. When I went to South Africa, obviously, I went as I'm still nobody. I wouldn't say I'm somebody. I was actually unknown and not popular at all. Up until I managed to put my feet on the ground, got myself into the wine industry, make my own wine, keep on grinding to be the best sommelier. Obviously, I gained a bit of mileage in terms of social media and all that. So now wherever I go, they know who Joseph is and what I do and all that stuff, which is really quite amazing in the sense that my phone can never rest because I get messages from Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, even some calls, people asking so many questions about wine, so which is really good, and I enjoy doing that because I'm always up for helping people, you know. So I would like to think that my life changed. I've got a busy life. I work about 17 hours a day, I would say, because I wake up at 5, I sometimes go to sleep or go to bed around 12 midnight, or it can stretch, it depends how busy I am on that particular day.
My name is Leroy Williams. I'm a huge fan of the Mosi wines. The Mosi wines are an exceptional bottle of wine. It's got a really good range, and I like the Syrah the most. It's a really good bottle to drink, and the wines are superb. I'd highly recommend, if you're looking for a good bottle of wine, to get Mosi. So if ever you're looking for any Mosi brands, you can easily get them at liquor supplies. You can get the Mosi brand at Liquor Supplies Avondale. We also have another 2 branches, one in Chisipiti and one in Warradale. So if ever you're looking for a really good bottle of wine, please support our local brands, Mosi. You will never go wrong. The Mosi brand also does gin. So if you're looking for an exceptional gin, you can try Mosi. It is a really, really good gin, and it will surprise you.
I do follow sport. I'm a big fan of Manchester United, though they were smashed, thumped or humbled with Tottenham recently, but still I support them. I'm also a footballer. I used to play football from my childhood, and I'm still playing in Cape Town. I mean, social football. So I'm a fan of football. Yeah. I support them individually, to be honest. I don't have a particular team I support in South Africa, to be honest. I mean, I don't have much love of local football. Even in Zimbabwe, I used to like Dynamos a lot. I mean, there were good cases I used to like, but then I just lost interest. But I support our guys individually, the likes of Kamampilet, Ovid Karura. I chat with him here and there, of course. Knowledge Msuna, of course, is abroad, but yeah, those are the guys I just follow. Or Nakamba, I make sure that I'm watching. I always watch Aston Villa when he's playing, or Man U when he's playing, purely because Villa has got my homeboy, and Man U is my team. So when the two teams are actually playing, I'll be very neutral. Yeah, I mean, I've got issues really with people when they play their music, or when they're shooting their videos, music videos, when they pop in their all-white parties, which we all know who does that. They hold champagnes and they drink French wine, they drink some other wines from all over the world. We have mostly wines here, you know, which taste is good. But just because you want to be seen holding that bottle of Hennessy, Moe and Hennessy don't even know who Joseph is in Zimbabwe. They don't even know who Noah is in Zimbabwe. But you buy cases and cases and really flush out money purely because you want your friends to see that you're rich, which is good. Those are actually very good brands, but then there are some stuff or some beverages which is good. And by supporting local, you're not helping this person alone. You're helping this brand, the employees, and those other people which benefits like indirectly from the brand. So I think buying local is the best thing to go. And I think we as Zimbabweans haven't done much in terms of supporting one another. Oh, we are good at this, really talking ill of one another, which is very, very sad. But one day I would like to be on the front page, really mention, even on TV, mentioning that please support your own, buy local, try your level best. I do. Ask my wife, she will tell you that before he buys anyway or anything, I always make sure that is there anyone close by who's saying the same thing. If there is, then I buy from them before I drive my car to Macro or somewhere else. Not saying I don't buy to all those big shops, but I try to uplift others, you know. Tongai, in Zim, I'm really known as Tongai Joseph Dhafana, but then if you're in Cape Town, South Africa, if you try to find Tongai, you'll find me, but you will actually struggle. I'm known as Joseph T. Dhafana. So Tongai in Chirumanzu, 35 years ago, by this I was actually, I think 35, or mentioning 35, I was about say 3 years, I would say. I grew up in a polygamy family. My dad had 2 wives, and I was actually from the second wife. And you know how life is if you're coming as like extension of the family. We were poor, I would say, because my father was a farmer, of course, but that subsistence farming whereby you just feed your family, nothing to sell. And we were about 8 from my mother's side, and they couldn't afford that much. I could actually tell then. Luckily, I got educated back in the rural areas as well, up to Form 4, which I didn't do very well. And yeah, so things didn't really work the way I was expecting, especially when my dad passed on. Luckily, I was actually employed by Simon Zimbabwe then in 2004, because you know how it is if you're living actually in a polygamy situation. if the main man dies, which means the second family, this extended family, like from the second wife, you don't get anything, which is exactly what happened. We didn't get even a needle, you know. So we just worked ourselves from scratch. Thank God that I'm running my own company. I'm really one of the respected sommeliers in Africa. And my two other brothers are soldiers. One is at Manyame, one is at Thoni Ebes. So we now managing to feed the family. All the sisters are gone, they're married. So we're looking after our mom and some grandchildren. So yeah, so life wasn't that great. And nothing was actually great in my life, except now I think I'm quite successful. By successful, I mean I'm managing to help other people, because success is not measured in monetary ways or way. I think success is measured by how many people have you helped in your life. So I think I'm a bit successful in terms of that, because I'm trying. I've managed to help so many people, and I'm still helping. So we're trying our best to do better every day, better than yesterday, I would say. I mean, there are so many things which have been happening in Zimbabwe, affecting the masses. So I would like to think that if we probably put our heads together, and those are, and the rightful authorities, those are actually in the rightful offices, we can do more, really. I would like to think that there is not much done in terms of being like coming together for us to reach a goal. I will give you an example. There was a time when I sent numerous emails to the Minister of Tourism wanting to work with them, because I've got so many followers from all over the world. I've got actually investors who want to invest in most Swiss guys, rich with money, and they want to just come and chuck R1 million into Mosi and see how Mosi can do better. They even want us to come to Zim and make a few bottles from Zimbabwe. But again, going back to my point, I sent an email, or not emails actually, wanting to collaborate with the Minister of Tourism, but you get sent to different offices and all that stuff, which I ended up being tired, because I wasn't trying to help myself. I was trying to help the nation and their people, you know. But then I really find out that we do, as Zimbabweans, have a bad syndrome that I may know that this help, the help this guy needs, is actually supposed to be done with Office B. I don't send that person to Office B. Who actually, you would talk in cycles up until probably the person is actually tired, which is absolutely the opposite of South Africa or Cape Town. We make sure that if you're looking for a bottle of Mosi, even if I make another different brand, I will tell you where exactly that bottle is and probably the price, without even mentioning my product. Now here, they want a cut or something like that before they do anything. Whether it's benefiting you, benefiting the next person, they don't give a toss, which is so wrong on all levels, or at all levels. So that really has to, I don't know if it can be wiped off or out, but I think we as Zimbabweans, we need to have a heart for one another. You know, the moment we care for one another is at the same time we're actually looking after the economy. So that's really lacking. Music-wise, of course, I listen to all of them sometimes if I have time. These days I'm liking these youngsters, Nakubvomvera and the like. They're quite fun. They're very entertaining, and it's really, really good. So yeah, it's really, I just like most of the Zimbabwean music. This is a bottle of Mosi wine Flavian Syrah, 2018 vintage. Mosi is to shorten Mosi Uyatunya, which means the smoke that thunders. We all know that. It is Victoria Falls. That's why you see Victoria Falls label here. It is the umbilical cord between Joseph and his country, which is myself and my country, Zimbabwe, definitely. Flavian is my father's name, who passed on in 2004. He's there because he taught me that a man's day should last at least 16 hours minimum. You have to work really extra hard. Syrah is the grape variety, like Chenin Blanc, Syrah, Merlot, and the like. So this is actually Syrah. 2018 is the vintage when the grapes were harvested. So every time one sees 2018, 2016, and the like, it means it's the year when the grapes were picked up or picked out from the vines. So yeah, and at the back, in water you see only reflection, in wine you see the heart of another, which is absolutely right. I mean, people don't realize how much effort I was going through for one to have a bottle like this standing in front of the, or on top of the table, or in a glass. Millions of grapes died. A lot of hours were put in, sleepless nights when the wine was fermenting, because when the wine is fermenting, it's more like a pregnant woman, you know, who is about to be due. They do have restless or sleepless nights, and so as a winemaker, you'll be thinking, oh, maybe something might go wrong, you know, because we ferment our wines naturally. We don't use enzymes. So anything can easily spoil the wine, you know. So yeah, so this is where we are. This is the red, we have the white, Tinashe, my son, then we have the Mossy Gin. Yeah, and bubbly is coming soon, because I've seen many Zimbabweans really holding Esso Spade, Champagne Tempereño and the like. Now I'm making MCC with this Method Cape Classic, made in Method Champenois style, which is going to be really just like champagne. If I give you to taste blind, you struggle, you won't even tell the difference. Open a bottle of Moët, a bottle of Mossy, bubbly, pour behind the scenes, you won't even know which is which. So I'm making that, it's going to be coming, and I would want to see if the same people who are buying Moët are going to buy Mossy as well. Well, look, I'm not demanding, but it's just that I think people need a bit of education to know what they're having. It's just lack of education, pretty much. I mean, I'm not trying to talk ill of other brands, but I see no reason of really buying an expensive bubbly if we have pretty much similar quality for less, and more importantly, supporting your own, which is actually the theme at the moment. Buy local, support local, you know. And so let's see how it goes. So in Zimbabwe, there is huge potential in Zimbabwe in terms of wine production. I mean, I've been traveling to different areas. I've been to Bushman Rocks about 4 years ago. I'm pretty much might go there today again, if time permits. They've got really very good terroir, very good soil and everything. In Manicaland, in those valleys, we can easily grow grapes there. And then, of course, in Marondera, I'm told that Mukoyo uprooted all the vines, which is very sad, because people don't look in the bigger picture. Because vines can last until over 100 years. It will help the next generation. We just need to have better facilities to make wine, and very educated people to really convert those grapes to good wine. Because Zimbabwean wine is not bad, trust me. I mean, I've drunk old 1997 Rosawi River Merlot, which I got in Cape Town, which was beautiful. And there are also some really drinkable or acceptable wines from Kui and the like. So in Chirumanzo, there's a place again. I'm going there on Saturday. I'm going to see, we have a farm in close to Mashava, which is also got a very good soil to grow grapes. I'm going to talk to my brothers and see if we can actually plant a small vineyard. So I think we need to speak to the authorities again, Minister of Agriculture or whoever is actually responsible. We sit with them, we actually have them to test these wines, take them through the whole journey, then go with them out there and say, look, this soil or this landscape or this terroir, this aspect, we can actually grow vineyards here and make wine. That's going to actually boost our economy easily, because wine is such a big tourist attraction. People can fly just to taste Zimbabwean wine in Zimbabwe and go to Victoria Falls, go to Wange, go to all these Gonarejo and them, So it will be very nice or good to have our wines made in Zimbabwe being served in Nico's Hotel, being served at Crest Lodge, everywhere. It will be something different. Even in all these whether meetings or ceremonies and all that stuff, we drink our own. I will tell you, France do the same thing. I've been to France so many times. They drink their own. It's unusual to see German wines in France, unless you're at the German border. Swiss wines in France or South African wines in France. England is a different story altogether because they've got wines from all over the world. But this I'm trying to say, France really, they protect themselves and they promote their own. This is exactly what we need to do. I'm not only talking about the wine, even sweets, even clothes, even like all those things. Let's try to help one another.